Hello and welcome to Topham Chats, the show where I chat to various members of the Rooster Teeth community. My guest this week is TheStewDog. Hey Stu, how are you?
I'm superb. How are you?
Excellent. Good to hear. Yeah, I'm doing pretty well. Little stressed, but I've explained the reasons to you why. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Usually I would go off and I'd start on a certain series of questions, but today my time is limited, so I'm going to just do a normal podcasty type thing with Stu, which is the whole idea that this is different. In the future, I do plan to have Stu on as a guest. He is actually on my list of people to talk to. So that's like, woohoo! And let's get straight into it. We've got a few things to talk about today. One was fitness. You said the other day to me that you're like, oh, I'm getting back into fitness. And I forgot to respond about it. And you were just like, I'm getting back into doing healthy things and running and stuff like that. So what kind of things are you going to be doing?
Well, I've just signed back up at the gym.
Yep.
I signed up a couple of months ago. I've not signed up, but started posting in the Fit for RTX forum, which is where you kind of found out about this. And it wasn't so much a plan for that for this year, but it's tied in well with my goals, so I figure it's good timing for it, you know. But yeah, I've been mostly trying to work on the diet a little bit. I mean, I've lost the last not even a year, about 6 stone now.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I'm doing pretty well with it so far, but it's getting a bit of a struggle. And now I need to start kind of getting a bit leaner rather than lighter. So been focusing a bit on lifting weights and things like that, and try to build up the muscles a little bit. Because believe it or not, I'm not the most muscular guy.
Fair enough. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like, you can lose all that weight, and you can do it a lot through diet. Diet's like a huge part of things, and it's just diet can take up like 70% of the way that you'll lose weight. But to really get the last bits off or put on muscle where you want to, you've got to augment it with some decent training regimes.
Yeah, definitely.
And it's those things that become not necessarily the problem, but the thing that need to be looked at, like how the diet and the exercises that you're doing can complement one another, and it can be a bit challenging.
Yeah.
So, do you have any goals that aren't like weight related, more along the lines of I want to run a certain amount of distance, or I want to run a certain amount in this time, or I want to cycle, or I want to be able to lift this much in a certain way?
Not yet. I'm still getting there. But ideally, if I can manage the run to work in the morning, which is about 3 miles ish.
Okay.
Eventually, probably by the end of this year, I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
Optimistic, but it's a rough goal.
It's totally achievable. Totally achievable if you set the right training schedule to it, which is one of the things that is pretty exciting and pretty good about fitness. You can set goals and you can be like, I will achieve that, but you can do it. It's obviously going to be incremental and it takes a while to progress, but
yeah, absolutely.
You can definitely achieve it if you put the work into it.
Probably not a very good idea to put it into practice, but having that be a goal to set, it's not so bad. I mean, I don't want to show up all smelly after I run to work.
Yeah.
It's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
Not sure the customers would find it too enticing either.
Yeah, you could walk to work and then run home afterwards.
That would be a better idea.
Yeah. Just get your training done after you've been standing or sitting all day. Just like, off to, run home. Yeah. Get home in like 15 minutes and be like, oh, I boosted the run home. Who runs 5-minute miles? Christ, I can't do that. Yeah. Oh, dear. That's a bit of fitness talk out of the way. Another thing I wanted to talk about, it was just what games have you been playing recently? I've seen you on Destiny a few times. I'm like, maybe we should play. And we have played a bit, but
yeah, we got a wee shot together the other night, and it was good fun. I got some stuff done that needed done in it. Destiny is, I'm not going to say I'm still enjoying it. I'm still tolerating it.
You're still playing it?
But yeah, I like playing it maybe like an hour at a time or something. But I can see why everyone's kind of falling off of it, and it's getting a bit of hate. It's just there's not a lot of different things to do.
Yeah.
Which is a shame. But I like sort of grindy stuff that I can just jump into for an hour or two and make a little bit of progress.
Yeah, definitely.
On a similar kind of note, I've been playing a lot of Rogue Legacy on the PS4. It's one of the free games this month.
Okay, I've downloaded it, but I haven't started playing it. That's why it sounds familiar, but
yeah, it's really addictive. It's like it would be a really good mobile game or a Game Boy game. You can just again jump into it for a couple of rounds. A round lasts maybe 5 minutes, a bit longer if you're really good. Or once you've started leveling up a bit more. And it's just like a sort of Mega Man-ish type platformer.
Cool.
And you're like when you die, you're next in line to the throne takes over, and you need to spend all the money, and the devil or whatever it is takes it off of you before you go back into the castle, and that's your kind of way of leveling up.
Oh right, that's
so you've got to get to certain limits each time.
Cool.
It's good fun, and it's really really addictive.
Yeah, I've played the other two games that are free right now, Transistor and Apotheon.
Yeah, what do you think of them?
Apotheon I'm not getting along with that much, but Transistor's fantastic.
Transistor is it Supergiant Games done that?
I can't remember.
The guys who done Bastion?
Possibly.
Yeah, I'm sure it's those same guys. I can't remember.
Yeah. It's an incredible game. It's a lot of fun to play as well, and it really just the way the combat works as well. Like you can pause time and just be like, oh yeah, I'll do these sequence of moves, and works so nicely.
I'm still adjusting to it a little bit. I played a little bit yesterday morning before I went out, and it's so much fun, and it's the same as Bastion. Like, amazing soundtrack, like, beautiful visuals, and really fun gameplay. But I'm still getting used to you can fight in real time and with the pausing thing.
Yeah.
And I need to try and balance that out a little bit better. But it's good fun, and it's challenging as well. It's not too easy.
I don't think I've played enough for it to get challenging yet.
Yeah.
Like that's how little I've played it. That's how little time I have for games, but it's enjoyable and fun.
Yeah, I quite like the Apotheon as well. From what I've played, but it's very big for what it is. You know. There's a lot of open spaces. A lot of people. I think it was at PSX or something. One of the big conferences a couple of months back, and a lot of people were saying it was sort of a Super Metroid type game, where you can upgrade yourself, and it's that sort of side-on platformer action thing. But I think I like it. I like sort of Metroidvania style games when they're a bit more closed in. Like I felt that was a little bit too open so far.
Yeah, like because you start in the area and there's doors to go through, but they're spread out, and there's lots of areas that there's just it's hard to describe without having like to not be able to show anyone what it's like. But I completely understand what you're saying, but I don't know if anyone listening would. But yeah,
I know that. The one problem that I've had with it that I really don't like is the controls. I find the controls are a bit finicky, especially for like throwing weapons and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And switching between things. It seems like it's maybe more suited to a PC. But I think it is a PlayStation exclusive, isn't it?
As far as I'm aware, yes, but I could be incorrect.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm going to give it another chance next time I get an opportunity, and see what it's like with a little bit more time.
Cool. Question I've just thought of. Did you go to the Glasgow event that was on at the weekend?
No, I didn't. I was working. I couldn't make it.
Fair enough.
I was quite disappointed because there was a lot of people who I haven't actually met yet that were going to it. Obviously, I know Ailsa and Aidan from organising the
previous ones. Yeah.
And I've not even heard anything from Gary Lee said that he was going to it for a little bit, but I didn't have a lot of gossip from it, so it seemed a bit quieter than the usual ones. It's a shame. Like I said, I would have liked to have went, and I'll hopefully try and get to the next one.
Yeah, there's always a good crowd up there. It's always a lot of fun.
It's good folk, and like I've become a lot quite good friends with a lot of the guys from the events as well.
Yeah.
Obviously because they stay around about Glasgow, and we get on pretty well, so I'll likely be seeing most of them over the next couple of weeks as well. A little catch up.
Cool.
It's not too bad.
No, I can imagine. Cool. So, last thing that I wanted to talk about was something that's just slipped my mind as soon as I went to grasp for it. Like, no, you were there. You were there. Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
So, me and my friends have been playing Dungeons and Dragons recently. It's been a lot of fun. And I've been doing videos of oh yes, this is what we've been doing, and I put out a 14-minute or something video this morning. I was of me talking about all the combat that we did, and I was watching it back. I was who would watch this? So I'm just torn about what I'm going to do with it. So I'm just I don't know. I'll just pause for a moment, try and figure out what I'm going to do next week, and just go for it from there. But tonight I'm really looking forward to it because we've been. We had a massive email chain because we all work in different places. We all have to use our professional email addresses. And we've got this really long thread. And oh man, there were so many bad jokes and old obscure references that no one would get. It's just this is awesome. In jokes as well. Yeah. But we're using our professional accounts and we're just we shouldn't be using that for this. But we can't really, at least it looks proper. But
yeah, of course.
Oh dear. But
what
we've been having a lot of fun.
It all, and professional speak as if you're actually talking about work, but just make it.
Totally should make it a bit more formal than dicks. Just messing around with it. It's been a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to it tonight. Just I'm gonna go swing my axe at some monsters and cut them in half. Hopefully, we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it's something I've never really been into as Dungeons and Dragons. I'd like to try it.
Yeah.
I don't think I would have the time to kind of get really invested in it, though. It's not really my kind of thing, spending several hours on a game,
Well, yeah, we spend about 4 hours a week every Wednesday night just playing, and if you've not got that time to spare or you don't have the motivation to play or a good group of people to play with, it becomes very quickly impossible to play. So I completely understand that it's not necessarily for everyone, but luckily I've got a good group of people to play with, so I'm just yes, this is awesome. Yeah.
So that's what you're up to tonight then, yeah?
That's absolutely what I'm up to tonight. How about you? What are you doing tonight?
I think I've got a little bit of writing to do. I've been doing a little kind of web-based feature for the website that I write for.
Yep.
Sort of just documenting YouTube channels, and I think tonight I'm going to be writing about Flula.
Oh yeah, Flula. He's been doing. What did he do recently? I think he did a collaboration with either Mamrie Hart or Grace, and I can't remember which one of the two.
He's done both in the past, I think.
Yeah, but there's one that's been really recent as well, and I can't remember which.
I think it was Mamrie Hart.
Yeah, it probably was.
Recent one. But he's been doing a lot of vlogs and things recently, which I'm not so keen on, but it's better than a lot of stuff. And I want to see more of his auto-tunes, and they're really funny. Quite looking forward to seeing his Sundance movie as well, which I think he's got a Kickstarter for.
Oh, nice.
But I'll get into all that in the article anyway. And,
fair enough.
I'll maybe give you a wee link and you can plug it for me.
Okay, cool. Well, thank you very much, Stuart, for being my rush guest on this relatively short episode.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me on.
No problem. And I'm sure in the future I will invite you back on and we'll do a full chat as to how I usually run a show.
Sounds good.
Cool. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.